Well, hello there. I'm Ed Parcaut here. Thanks for coming in, Bobby.
Yeah.
It's like my first time. I'm telling you, it just flows like nobody's business. How was your weekend?
It was great, man. How about yours?
It was all right. It was busy working out back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never ending project, right?
Well, it's just one project a day, each weekend. And then before you know it, you'll be done. So doing the backyard first, and then I'll move back out to the front and fix the front. But I'm like, why spend the money to put plants in right now up front and watch them die? We're going to have a hot summer.
Yeah, I get that feeling too.
And then it's like a lot of water. And then they're going to go, you're using too much water, so we want to penalize you.
Yeah. As Dry Creek is flooding, right?
Everything's flooding, but before you know, we'll be, we got to watch water. It's funny because you have Tuolumne County, they still have the signs up there, mandatory no water use.
They forgot, they just didn't send out the city employees to take them down, huh?
No. But amazing, they made it through the snow.
Yeah,
it's still there. Yeah, so it's new for me. A lot of people looking, a lot of people, I mean, not our normal amount of people selling the homes, but people are putting homes on the market.
Yeah.
I think, and a lot of it's divorces. Unfortunately, people passes away over the last 3 years or 2 years.
Yeah.
One spouse or whatever, and they decided now to sell, and others. It's just those life events that are changing that normally make people sell their homes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I agree with
life
you. That's
events.
What we're seeing. Yeah.
But usually the other life events, like I'm getting married, they go buy a house, so that's happening. I have a baby, I need another room. That ain't happening. That kid will be 18 before you know it, so he can just move out. Yeah. I'm just saying there's people aren't really adding another room on or another this, they're just like, okay, we need to stay here. It's just going to cost too much. First of all, that's new mouth to feed and everything else. And then we can't absorb another $500 to $1,000 a month in a payment.
Yeah. Not to ever discourage somebody from wanting to do a step up, but as long as you're happy with the neighborhood, most of us kids grew up sharing a room, right? It's a modern luxury in the last 20 years where,
everybody had their room.
Yeah, everyone has their own room. I'm like, what was that, man?
And then a playroom.
I didn't even have. I went from sharing a room with my brother my whole life to sharing a room with 6 guys once I was in the Navy, right?
Yeah. Well, first you were sharing it with hundreds of guys.
Yeah.
In boot camp.
Yeah, for that few months. But yeah, it wasn't until I was like in my early 20s that I got my own place and had my own room. So it'll be okay.
It's okay, man. Let it go. Go see counseling. And now look what you've done.
That's what I'm doing after this.
You're sharing a room again.
I know.
And a whole house.
And I'm okay with it.
See, for me, other than that, and everybody's like, what's rates doing? Rates are just going to be here. Don't worry about rates. If you're okay with the payment, just move on. Because someone asked me, what should you do? And I said, well, if you're happy with it, just lock or something. I made some, if you're happy and it, clap your hands. I just turned it into a lock thing, and it doesn't work right now, but I had it perfect the other day.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're happy with don't fight or don't wait to lock just because you might save another $20.
Yeah.
Because it might go the other way.
Well, and so this kind of will tie into what I've been working on as far as marketing, right? Because as we always talk about, there's no inventory. So I've been letting folks know that have like rental properties, hey, if you're not familiar with the market, if you haven't been paying attention, most people think rates are higher than they've been, no one's buying.
Right.
And I'm letting them all know, like, no, we still have a lot of buyers. People have said, okay, I understand that these are the rates for right now. I still need a home. So if you've thought about selling that rental property, let's put it on the market.
Get any bites?
Nothing yet. I just sent them out though last Thursday.
Right. Well, and you're right, because I was on a podcast last week because of my book. I'm on all these podcasts. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying why I'm on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
And they were asking them what's going on in California because they're from Pennsylvania and other places,
Gotcha.
and they're not as busy. They're not like us right now.
Yeah.
And then he said that he had interviewed somebody just the same day in Ohio, and they were the same thing as us, just multiple offers, over asking. And I explained to them, it's the inventory thing. It's yes, some real estate is regional. I mean, all real estate's regional and somewhere, but a lot of us are exactly the same. We just don't have enough houses to sell, and they're not building enough. And that's where we're at. And we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah. Especially, population density, determines a lot of that. Right. So my cousin lives in New Hampshire, and it took her and her husband, I think she said it was like 5 years before they could finally get an offer accepted, because all the houses there are, 200 to 400 years old. They don't build a whole lot of new houses. They kind of limit the number of houses they can maintain, kind of the neighborhood, stuff
Right.
like that, right? A lot of building restrictions. So it takes forever for a house to come on the market. It's one of those life events, right? So
Right.
totally different market than out here.
Right. Well, no, lately it's a kind of a life event too.
Well, yeah.
It takes people 2 years to get into homes sometimes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it depends, their situation. But yeah, I understand that. We're just not, and here we used to build 1,000 homes a year. Now we're building 100 if we're lucky. You go by those new tracks that have, and they're all, that's not enough homes, right? They're all sold. They're not enough homes. We need more. And they're going to be building some new tracks, but they're still not enough.
Now, buyers, if you're in the market for a new home, the best thing to do is to go through a realtor, right? Because what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and tell you that they can handle both sides of the transaction, and they'll do in-house funding, and you're going to get all these perks, right? But that's really not protecting you as the buyer. Let someone that's outside of that developer represent you in the purchase. So just let us know. But a lot of buyers are surprised that these homes are being purchased before they've even broken ground, and that's just the way it is. So you see, development going up, more than likely those houses have already been purchased.
Oh yeah,
unless something fell out of contract and it's back on the market.
Right. And that happens. I mean, or you're on a waiting list for it, and then somebody falls out because they can't qualify now because it's 6 months later, they lost their job, something happened, they're not making as much. A lot of stuff happens during that period of time while you're building, or while they're building, I should say. The other thing to do is you could find out if there's any lots around. There are some single lots around town still in certain places, and then you can build your own home there. You can do that too, because we do a construction to perm loan, 10% down conventional, or VA, no money down.
Nice. Yeah. Especially that VA. I know we have a pretty good veteran community around here. I just wish it was larger, because that would be a huge perk right now.
Oh yeah. I wish it was larger too. But there's a lot of, in average, I'm running into locally about 8%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is what and that's just my own calculations that I'm not seeing, where in other areas, like in San Diego, it's so much more.
Oh yeah.
Right. And because there's still active bases there. Right. All of our bases are gone pretty much.
I remember a buddy of mine named Curtis. He was in my squadron. He got out once his enlistment was done. Then he stayed in Virginia Beach. And no joke, I saw him at a Jack in the Box. I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, nobody wants to hire veterans. He's like, there's too many of us. There's no allure to the title of veteran, So
move.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah. Everyone wants to stay out and stay by the beach. It's like, it's not an affordable place,
And that's the thing but there's a lot of jobs, and that's the thing. All right, so if you're going to go in the services, I'm going to put is plan while you're in what you're going to do when you get out, right? Either you're going to stay in for your 20 years, if that's your plan, that's one, but you still need to have a secondary plan. Go to school while you're in, get your degree in whatever it is. Don't just play and have fun the whole time you're in. The first year, that's fine. Second year, maybe, but if you're, that's what I did. The first year I didn't do anything. Second year I started. It was actually, second year. It was 18 months I was in, went to school, came back. So about 24 months in, it was when I started going to school.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well, yeah.
And it just
woken up with enough headaches, right?
Well, no, I was just, I was back at Camp Pendleton, right? And so it's like, what do I do now? Well, we can pay you to go to school. Okay, I'll go to school. And you're going to pay for some of it while I'm in. Okay, perfect. And so I got my bachelor's while I was in, and then started my master's, and then finished my master's, after I got out. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting how different everyone's career can be, right?
Yeah.
Because when you tell people you're a veteran, they ask if you're a combat veteran. I'm like, no, I'd never take that title, man. I've been on deployments overseas in support of those guys, But then it was always funny because we'd be on deployment, and you'd have like the people that were like saying like admin or something like that. And because they feed you high calorie food for the working people, the admin people would gain weight. And then us guys that were working on the flight deck were getting skinny. It was just, I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah. Well,
observation.
There.
No hate.
No hate. Just,
nothing bad in the comments. I got fat now. So.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we all get that at time, right? All right. Well, I think that's call it a day. Will you?
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you for everything, you guys. And thanks for being here. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
Thanks so much, Ed.
All right.